What's going on, everyone? We are back outside and I am loving it. But today I wanted to talk to you about why I think the Osmo Pocket 3 is the perfect travel camera and why you should be bringing this camera on every one of your trips. First off, I have had this camera for over a year now and I think I've taken it on close to 50 trips with me. And this camera just stays by my side because of how lightweight it is. I know I can carry it with me everywhere and I'm going to be able to get the shots that I want to capture when I want to capture them. Now, I started to realize this camera was so great when I took this camera on a trip to Spain with me. Because it is so small, I was able to carry this camera with me wherever I went. And this was very different from previous years. Before I went on a trip to Italy and there I was carrying my mirrorless camera setup and I really didn't want to take my camera out all the time to start filming, especially if we were in a crowded area or if we were going into the museum or even just a coffee shop. With this camera though, I didn't feel nervous about pulling it out at all. This camera is so small, it's so discreet, and because of how lightweight it is, I was able to carry this camera with me wherever I went. I was able to get some amazing shots inside different museums, coffee shops, restaurants, even walking through the airport and on the airplane, I was able to capture some stunning shots with this. And if we think about it, just 4 or 5 years ago, before compact cameras really were a thing, in order to capture these shots we're able to capture now with a camera such as the Osmo Pocket 3, I would have to bring out a whole gimbal setup with a mirrorless camera, a big lens, and it doesn't look very discreet. Let alone you wouldn't be allowed into a lot of places with that setup. So when you bring this camera along with you, having this camera on a gimbal and be able to capture those cinematic shots everyone is out there trying to capture really is great when it comes to your travel experience. Also, I've never had so much fun carrying a camera and filming with it before. This, in my opinion, is the perfect everyday camera. I take it with me on almost every trip that I go on. And it's great to just be able to pick up some shots with it on the go, especially if I want to try vlogging in a new area or capture some unique shots of that area to remember my time while traveling. For instance, I was recently in Portland, Oregon for a video shoot, and there, I'm traveling with my Pelican cases. I have my big camera set up for work. I have my Canon C70 and my gimbal, and I really have to carry that stuff for the video shoot that I'm going on. But while I'm just out there exploring the cities, I love just carrying the Osmo Pocket 3 with me because I can capture some very unique shots and I can capture some shots to remember my trip in Portland. For instance, I took this camera with me to Cova Coffee, which turned out to be my favorite coffee shop I visited while in the Portland area. And I was able to capture some stunning shots inside the coffee shop and really take advantage of that gimbal setup. If I wanted to get shots like this even a couple of years ago, I would have to bring out my whole gimbal setup with a mirrorless camera. And in my opinion, it would just be very awkward to walk around a coffee shop carrying a setup like that. But with this little camera, I feel super comfortable just getting it out and doing a couple of reps and getting a shot or two of myself working in the coffee shop or of the latte that I was able to get. It does a great job at capturing that kind of footage. Also, when I'm in a restaurant, sometimes I'm very impressed with the food that I get. For instance, when I was in Barcelona, I went to one of the top 10 pizza shops in the world. I believe they're ranked number 2 or 3. And it was so much fun to have my Osmo with me because I talked to the host and I talked to some of the chefs and they let me grab some footage of them actually cooking the pizzas on the spot. And I feel like with this little camera, it really just opens up the door to that because people are not intimidated when you're just using this little camera. Half the time people think it's a toy unless they know what kind of camera it is. And I really think this camera provides you that great opportunity to capture footage you wouldn't normally be able to capture. Now let's talk about the fact that you can literally carry this camera anywhere with you. I'll show you my little setup that I have going on with it. So I just put it away. And then I have these little bags right here from Kalepak. And I simply just open it and I can put my Osmo Pocket 3 in there. And I can also carry a couple other cameras with me as well as some accessories. So recently I picked up the DJI Action 5 Pro and you're seeing me shoot with that camera right now. But it's so incredible because I'm able to grab my Action 5 Pro, grab my Osmo Pocket 3, and I could bring these two cameras with me just in this little bag here. And I love that. You know, I am more excited to take these cameras with me because they don't take up a lot of space. And even if I don't use them, I don't feel bad because they are so small and they don't take up that much space. It's great to have with me when I want to use it and be able to capture some amazing footage. But at the same time, if I'm not using these cameras on the go, it's okay because I won't be carrying a bag like this anyways with other things I may need for the day. And this is even more impressive because now that I have the Action 5 Pro and the Osmo Pocket 3, you know, I can really use these two cameras and I can set up a two camera shot. I can use my Action 5 for a wide shot, and then I can use my Osmo Pocket 3 if I want to get a shot that's a little bit closer. And just having this versatility between the two cameras is great. You know, they have the same color science, so I know the cameras are going to be able to match in post easily. And when the weather isn't the greatest, I know I could take my DJI Action 5 Pro with me and I'm going to be able to capture some amazing footage when maybe it's raining or if I want to go swimming with a camera. But I can also use my Osmo Pocket 3 as my main camera. Another reason why I love carrying my Osmo Pocket 3 with me is it really can turn any day or any event into a movie. Like I said, because of this gimbal, the footage that you are capturing looks incredible, it's stabilized, and you're getting that 10-bit color on a little bit bigger of a sensor with this camera. So it is going to shine above any phone that you may be shooting with. And this camera does a great job at matching even mirrorless cameras. You know, I must say, I've used this camera a couple times where I've matched it with my Canon C70 for a wide shot, and nobody has noticed the difference between this camera and the C70. Now, like I said, you must maintain a wide shot with this camera because of its wide angle lens, and if you do that, the footage is going to look great and you're going to be able to match it with most cameras out there. I also must say that the Osmo Pocket 3 I think has made me a better videographer overall because I have this small camera on a gimbal with me most days while I'm out and about. I'm constantly practicing my gimbal moves, and I have taken actually a lot of gimbal moves that I've used on my Osmo Pocket 3 and transferred them to my big rig with my Canon C70 on it. And you know, practicing every day with a gimbal really is going to perfect your craft. So I do think overall I become a better videographer on a professional gimbal setup thanks to my Osmo Pocket 3. Awesome, well thank you again guys for joining me in this video. I hope you learned something, and as you can see, the Osmo Pocket 3 is a great travel camera, and in my opinion it's the best travel camera on the market, especially if you're looking for a camera for vlogging or just capturing some cinematic videos on the go. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel because you know it helps my channel grow. And like I said, this camera was shot on the DJI Action 5 Pro, and I just picked up this camera, so you can look forward to some more videos on that camera coming out soon. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.